Hey, so when I was a kid, I loved being scared. R.L. Stine was my main man. Now that I'm a little older, sometimes I wonder, why is it that I like getting the crap scared out of me? And I used to debate in myself, why can't I just write stories where there aren't people running from monsters? But what I've realized is that scary stories are actually among the most potentially uplifting and life-giving stories out there. Here's why. First, I think there is a question behind the question of whether dark stories can harm us. And that question is, can any stories harm us? And I know it might be kind of unpopular to say this, but I think that they can. I think that they can be bad for us as people. It's hard to make that statement without kind of sounding like you're pro-censorship. I'm not. But art does powerful things to us. If it didn't, we wouldn't talk about how certain books change our lives. But I think it's important to make a distinction between the presence of violence in a story and the intent of violence in a story. Ultimately, my personal litmus test isn't, is this story too scary or dark? The test is, does this story, as scary as it might be, ultimately deal with some kind of redemption, or as my favorite horror director Scott Derrickson says, does it deal with dark transcendence? In many ways, horror is the genre of non-denial. Horror stories, or at least my favorite ones, reckon with the fact that life sometimes is scary and violent. And because they cover the entire spectrum of existence, they invite us to review and reframe our own struggles through the lens of the extreme and the extraordinary. So when horror stories tend toward nihilism, or just kind of being mean, I do tend to think that the critics kind of have a point. But when they show the whole spectrum, light and dark, of human existence, I am crazy in love. Having said all that, I would love to hear what you guys think in the comments. Do you think scary stories are bad for us? Also, please let me know your own favorite scary stories, because I am always on the lookout. Thanks for watching. Hi, I'm Mike Martin. So when I was a kid, my family and I lived in this tiny apartment. There were these